Hello and welcome to the garden. Tonight we are direct sowing some stuff. The chance of frost is past. Fingers crossed that nothing comes up. So I am going to direct sow mostly some beans tonight. I do have some other stuff like squash in this pile as well, but it's mostly going to be beans. And I thought I'd take you along with me. So I have my little container down here of seeds, and this is how I do a lot of my seeds. Is I just use little plastic containers to like organize what I need to start or sow or whatever it is, and then I can just grab this and go outside, and I don't have like these loose packets of seeds. So in here I have, what do I have in here? It's a lot of beans. There is some squash. It's mostly beans and squash. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be starting tonight. So I have cocozelle, zucchini, scallop golden squash, like little patty pan things, the Cuba butter squash, which is my favorite yellow squash. And then I have this Burpee's golden zucchini. I'm going to try this as well. I bought these last year and I don't think I really planted them. The pack's open though. So I'm going to do those. And then I have a bunch of different types of beans. I buy bean seeds so much and I don't use them all. I don't know. Anyway, so I have a bunch of different types of beans. Some of these are bush beans and some of these are pole beans. So I'm going to do pole and bush this year just to kind of see what happens. I'm going to do pole beans on one of these cattle panels. I may actually just do this one that's right here with pole beans. And then I'm going to do cucumbers on one, and then cucamelons on one, but only half, and then the other half I'll probably do more cucumbers, but I'm going to do a whole, like both sides of this one right here with beans. So that's going to be kind of like the main entrance into the garden is going to be the bean arch. And I really love how pole beans kind of just cover the whole thing. If you've never grown pole beans on a cattle panel arch trellis, you should do it. They fill it in so nicely, and I plant my beans really densely when I do them on an arch like this, and they just fill it in and it makes a nice little shady spot underneath. And I will actually plant like some more stuff in front of them in these beds, things that need more shade like cilantro and dill, stuff like that tends to bolt for me really fast. I'm going to try to put them underneath these beans and just see what happens. So we're going to plant some seeds and kind of see what else we can get up to. I do have all my beds filled. Very exciting. Can you see them all? Yes. So I got all my beds filled. I got a truckload of compost from our city last Friday, and it filled this bed here and about 2/3 of this one. And so I was determined to get this done so I could start planting. And so then I went to Menards and I bought 15 1.5 cubic foot bags of soil, and I got the rest of this one filled up, and then I topped some of these other ones. I topped the other two ovals, and then a couple of these rounds were a little low, so I topped those as well. So everything is ready to go. Now this will settle, I know. That's just the reality of raised beds, is that usually your soil is going to settle, especially because I did do like sticks and stuff in the bottom. So as that breaks down, your soil is going to go down. That's just the reality of raised beds. Is that you got to keep putting soil in them. So But I am excited about this. I think this is going to be good. My goal this year is to densely plant these things and not have a bunch of empty spots. So that's the goal. Also, over here, hang on. Over here in front of the greenhouse, I have my things hardening off. So when I harden stuff off, I typically, and most of these trays, we're gonna water these need water. But what I do is I bring them out either in the morning or in the evening. I don't like to leave them out in the middle of the day when the sun is super strong. So these have been out. They were out Saturday, kind of afternoony. They were out Sunday morning into the afternoon, and then they were out this afternoon. So I think they're pretty well hardened off at this point. I do have one petunia blooming, which is very cute. This tray needs water. This tray needs water. All these trays need water. This tray is hardened off. That's just like some basils and stuff I need to up pot. But yeah, this is almost everything that's in the greenhouse. I do have a couple trays in there that are still small, but that's very exciting. I love having my plants hardened off and ready to go. So I'm gonna shut up now and I'm gonna plant, and we're gonna have a nice little relaxing evening in the garden planting some seeds together. How does that sound? Does that sound wonderful? Because it sounds wonderful to me. So let's do it. All right, everything is planted. I did an arch of pole beans. I did a bed, or not a whole bed, but part of a bed of bush beans. I emptied out 2 packs of bush beans that I hadn't used the whole pack. So we emptied out part of those, and then I used part of another big pack that I had. And a lot of my seeds are a few years old, so I did sow them a little more densely than I would if they were a newer pack, but they should still grow. I mean, we'll see what we get, you know. Same with the squash. I did sow 2 seeds per little spot on those, just to hopefully get some good germination. And if I need to, I can always snip one, but I rather oversow and then have a better chance of getting a plant than sow one and then maybe it not come up. So the garden is officially going. I mean, it's been going. I have some stuff out here already, but the first things I've direct sown are in the ground. So that's very exciting. I am very excited. I did also, and I'm gonna do like a garden tour once I get most everything in, but I did this weekend go and separate some perennials that I have on this side of the house up at the front, and I put some in this row over here where the flowers are, to hopefully jumpstart the perennial flower row situation that I want. And then I planted some, or the rest of my stuff I had winter sown. So I had larkspur, some poppies, snapdragons, and some echinacea. So I got those in the ground as well. Very exciting. And I got some perennials in. Some spiderwort, some asters, columbine, the purple echinacea, and some sedum. I got those in, and then I planted my sweet pea flowers that I had started, and I made them a little trellis. So once everything, it still looks a little rough because I just planted them yesterday and they're all still a little upset. But once everything kind of recovers from that and I get some more of my plants from the greenhouse planted out here, I will do a garden tour. It'll be probably a couple weeks from now until I really get like a good handle on everything being in the ground. But we made a pretty good dent tonight. Did a big area of bush beans, pole beans, some squash. We're gonna do more. I mean, I have cucumbers started in the greenhouse, but I also may direct sow some just to kind of see what happens. So yeah, the garden is coming together. I am super excited. Getting these beds filled was such a weight off my shoulders. So now we get to do the fun part, which is planting, which is the thing I look forward to most every year, but also causes me the most stress somehow, because now I'm like, I have to get everything hardened off, and I'm still like starting seeds, and I want to get everything in the ground, but it's like I'm looking at the forecast looks good, so I got to get stuff hardened off. It's a whole thing. If you start from seed, you know, you understand, you know, it's a whole thing. Will I buy plants? Absolutely I will, because I always do, but that's just the life of a vegetable gardener, you know. I would like to get some more like perennial herbs. I didn't have any oregano come up this year somehow, like from seed, and I'd like to get that established in another spot as well. So I'm probably going to do that, buy some oregano, and maybe some like tea herbs. I don't know. We'll see how crazy I get at the nursery. So yeah, that is, I feel good tonight. I feel good. It's supposed to rain the next few days, so I wanted to get these seeds in the ground so they can get a nice drink of rainwater. And hopefully in the next week or so, I have some little sprouts, so that'd be very exciting. So thanks for joining me out here tonight in the garden. We'll be back to do this again soon with even more stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.